All right, lads, welcome back to me podcast, Cheaper Than Therapy. Mick Thomas here. How are you? Thanks for coming back. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing, sharing it. I love that. Sending comments. I love all your feedback. It's because of you we got here to a very special episode, which is episode 100. I was going to do something special, right? I was going to have balloons, like a 100 balloon here, or something like that, right? And then confetti would rain down when I go, balloon, fucking episode 100, boom, 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 and it would all fall. But then I'd have to clean it up. I'd have to fucking clean it up. And not everybody's watching it on YouTube anyway, right? Majority of people are listening wherever you're getting your podcast from. You know, not many people watch the show, but that's fine. But it's there for you as an option. It's there for you as an option. So I was going to do something magical, you know, and I just thought, fuck it, let's just move on, pretend it's a normal show. It's just a number, isn't it? It's just a number. Unless it's sex, then you're a slut. Male or female, that's not having a go at anybody. So, yeah, episode 100, and it's going to be a normal show, like I said, as usual. I'm not going to, am I going to do a clip show? Right, I'm going to do, who can forget these famous moments? I used to fucking hate that when you watch television. Remember, you would watch your favorite show, a sitcom or whatever, and you'd be like, oh, another episode this week. But then it would be something like, do you remember the time? And it would flash back, and I'm like, well, I've seen all these episodes. Why are you wasting more time with just a flashback of episodes? You're lazy. It's lazy writing, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to start bringing on or showing clips of old guests But episode 1, if you go back and listen to it, which I don't think you should, god awful episode, no energy, and it was like filmed in a hotel room in Connecticut, right? It was not filmed, it was recorded in a hotel room in Connecticut into my cell phone, and we have evolved from then, right? We have evolved from a hotel room in Connecticut to a beautiful studio. A beautiful studio in an undisclosed location. And on a separate note, I do apologize for my neighbor next door fucking doing construction. I never met the guy. He doesn't own he owns the house. I know the guy who lives there, but the guy who owns the house is now doing construction because he's moving out and he wants to make it a little bit nicer. And he just walked onto my property the other day and just started taking water from the tap. Like, I know what country you're from, mate. He's from like Latin America, South America, where you could just walk up and just take water. But you can get shot for that in America, mate. You knock on my door, I'll give you fucking water. It's fine. It's fine. Like, you don't have to steal water from me. Just knock the door. And introduce yourself. I don't fucking know who you are. Anyway, undisclosed location. On a separate matter. But yeah, here we are. Like, episode 1 was... and I never forget it. Episode 1 was recorded in Connecticut. And I remember 496. That's how many listeners on my first show was. 496. And I was like, you know the way, like, I'm like, I was going to get it tattooed. Like, I was going to get that number 496 tattooed. And people go, what's that for, man? I was like, yeah, well, when I started my podcast, that's just how many. So when I looked down at it, I realized I was a fucking loser. You know the way artists do that? Like the drama people. There's some comics do it, and I'm sorry if you're a comedian friend of mine and you have this done that I don't know about it, but they get tattoos of the arts, right? They'll get like a tattoo. They'll get like a microphone or the drama. You know the drama thing, the happy, sad, or mad, pissed off face thing. Just to show that they're in it. I'm in it, man. I got a fucking... I'm not knocking shitty tattoos. I have a Mickey Mouse one. For fuck's sake. I have a Mickey Mouse one. But, you know those guys, right? This fucking, I got a tattoo right here of a fucking microphone. So now nobody can test my purity of comedy and acting. Shut the fuck up. So yeah, 496. And we've been through a lot, right? We've been through a lot in the last 100 episodes. Like what have we been through together, right? The pandemic landed, and I remember I just went, it'll be gone in a week. Remember? It'll be over in a week. Who gives a fuck? Get back to normal. It's all a scam, blah, blah, blah. So if that taught us anything, it's don't listen to Mick Thomas or don't take any advice from Mick Thomas on Cheaper Than Therapy. That's all. Just listen and go do the opposite of whatever he does. And I was wrong. And I was wrong about the pandemic. And I apologized, right? Like a man. I apologized. We've been through, new president came along on my show. We all went through that together. My dad died on the show. Not on the show. My dad didn't die on the show. That would be weird, right? If I have him on as a guest. Like, oh, hi, Dad. I know you got other shit going on, but the viewers want to know any last requests before you slip into the afterlife. Like, yeah, make sure they like and subscribe. Yeah, I was like, I know, if they only would just like and subscribe to show more, I could get more money, and then maybe I could get better treatment for you, and this wouldn't be happening. So let's blame them out there. Yeah, my dad died during this show, and I got a chance to express that on here, and I've had some friends die. Vic Henley, a friend and comedian, died. I talked about him on the show, and speaking of Vic Henley from the comic strip, the owner of the comic strip passed away last week. Richie Teagan, who I'm gonna miss. He was a gentleman. Every time you went in there, he brought you into the office and told you the same story over and over again. But man, I fucking loved it. I just liked being called into the owner's office. There was something kind of cool about, being I won't say important enough, but being recognized and respected enough that the owner of the comedy club, of one of my favorite fucking comedy clubs of all time, hands down, wanted to talk to you. You know what I mean? And again, you'd be sitting there kind of finishing his sentence because he told you the story 10 or 15 times before. But man, he was a fucking good guy. He was probably the last comedy club owner that I know that actually watched the show. Right? He actually watched the show. He would come down late at night and he would go up to the back and he would sit there and he would watch the show. And, he'll be missed. He'll be missed. So as soon as comedy opens back up again, it'll be weird going back to the strip and not having him there. But I miss you, Richie. Anyway, enough of that depressing shit. Nobody wants to hear that on this show. We wanna escape our problems. I was down in South Carolina last week. If you want to hear all about that, check out the other podcast that I have with comedians Dan Barry, Dennis Rooney, called the Almost Irish Podcast, and we talked about fucking lunatics playing golf. Here's how weird comedians are, and I don't know if I told this on the Almost Irish Podcast. I tee off on one of the tee boxes, right, and I'm not going to talk too golfy things, and we look over and we see this alligator, a big fucking dinosaur. It's a dinosaur. It's a 10-foot dinosaur. So I waddle over, and I'm in awe of this thing. Again, I grew up in a country where we don't have them, so I, even at the zoo, but it's like, this is fucking right there on the grass. It's on my Instagram. I posted the video. Go watch it. And so I go in and I pull up, and usually before I take a golf shot, right, I hit the ball over the alligator. Now I mean over, like as in far over, not like it landed next to him. And I said, I'll go over, line up, get my club, walk down, get a shot of the alligator and move on. So Dan being, Dan kind of good at judging stuff, I would say, Dan, what, I would, at certain holes I go, Dan, what would you hit off here? Dan's got a good gauge of that stuff. He's like, yeah, I would maybe do a 7-iron. So I'd change my club because I'm not talking, fuck it, shut up. So I would go and I go, Dan, what would you use here? And he was like, oh, I'd use such a club. So I'm going down. So I'm telling Dan the plan. We're going to drive in our cart. Rooney and Kenny Ryan were in the other one. Kenny Ryan's another comedian, lives down in South Carolina. And we drive around. And my plan was pull up, get the club I wanted, walk down, take a video, and go back. So I go to Dan. How far are we from the hole here, Dan? And he looks up and he's like, oh, you're so far. I go, what club would you use? And he goes, I would use a 9-iron. So I get a 9-iron and I walk down and I take the video of the alligator as you see on my Instagram, and I go back up and I line up the shot, and the ball goes nowhere really in the distance. I go, well, why would you say a 9-iron? Look how far I was. Like, oh, I thought you meant for the alligator. Dan, what the fuck? Like you thought like the alligator would give a shit if I walk down with a 9-iron. If the alligator's like, oh fuck, he's got a 9-iron, I best get back in the water. Like if I had any other club, he'd be like, ha ha ha, he's got a pigeon wedge, his arse is mine. That's what you're fucking dealing with. That is what you're dealing with. We had fun down in South Carolina. I kind of got into it with a comic. I'm not going to talk about that. I did do a show at the Comedy Cabana. That was nice. Great crowd. Nice club. Nice people. And it was just nice to see all that southern charm. Like, how can I help y'all? How can I help you? It was fucking nice. It was really nice. I mean, Look, we played golf on an old, still a plantation, by the way. They still call it a plantation. And you drive by shots, and there's like slave quarters, like where the slaves used. And you're supposed to be out and play golf like this is normal. It's the fucking weird. You're supposed to play golf on the shallow graves of dead slaves. Do you know what I mean? That's how fucking weird it is. It's just not like, yeah. We used to have slaves over here. They used to sleep over there. Did they? Yeah. 4. Right. Fucking sorry. Anyway, carry on. Yeah, we killed a bunch of them and we buried them over here. Did you? Oh, yeah, they're all buried over there. You might want to kind of come underneath the ball that way to get a good lob shot. Like, fucking surreal. Surreal it was down there. But I liked it, man. I starting to think, though. I live here in New York, and I'm like, maybe we're doing it wrong. Maybe New York is not the place to be. People are slower. I don't mean like mentally slower down there, but there's a slower pace of life, and it's nice. It's nice, especially if you're in a hurry. It's nice when you're at a gas station and you want to run in and get a quick Red Bull or something to take with you for your day out, and just the woman in front of you is talking about her pappy. I'm a pappy. And I'm like, is he? And he's dying, is he? Oh, okay. Well, shouldn't you hurry up and go home and spend time with him then, instead of talking to fucking Cletus here? Again, stereotypical names. I had a great time. In South Carolina. People are so nice. Myrtle Beach, by the way, that's where I was in South Carolina, in Myrtle Beach. And a lot of fast food joints down in Myrtle Beach, and a lot of not so fast food joints. It's fucking nice. But I think we're doing it wrong up here, freezing our balls off and arguing with each other all the time. They're just nicer people. Yeah, so that was South Carolina. And then you come back to like a whirlwind of the world has gone crazy again over Harry and Meghan, more royal family shit. I'm like, this is America. I live in America. I never thought Americans would be so obsessed with the royal family. I thought didn't you get done with them in 1776? Didn't you fucking pull the plug and say, we don't fucking want any more royal people over here. Let's throw the fucking tea into the water and fucking be done with them. Isn't that what happened? As history lied to me. I thought in 1776 you were done with the royal family. As a matter of fact, when I moved here, like, and you look at like American history, I thought like, oh, well, the Americans are going to hate the royal family and the British establishment just as much as fucking the Irish do. No, you're obsessed with it. Now, again, it's not against English people or British people. I've loads of friends. That's not about the people. It's about the fucking the monarchy. The monarchy. Harry and Meghan have separated from them, and then they told a tell-all story with Oprah, and they spoke about oppression. They talked about oppression and what it was like. I thought it was weird that millionaires and billionaires were all talking about how tough life is. It must be tough being in the royal family, right? If anything, like, I don't know, man. Like, they're fucking like. What? Here's the thing. King Edwin, I think it was, or Egbert. King Egbert was the first king. He was the first king of England, king of Britain, whatever you want to call it. In 802, the year 802, the year of our Lord 802, he was the first king. And what happened? I think I talked about this months and months ago. What happened? He walked out, he killed a bunch of people, and he said, I'm now the king. And they're like, what? You're just fucking Egbert. We're making fun of your name in school, like everything. No more of that. I'm the king now. Like, fuck off. And he killed a bunch of people. And then from then on, like, do you want me to keep going? You want me to keep killing people? And like, Egbert, we just stop. All right, we get it. You're fucking, like, everyone has that one person in that they went to school with that you know that, yeah, that I understand. They shoot up a school and you go, yeah, that makes sense. That would be something that he would do. So that was Egbert. They probably went to school with Egbert in 802, and he went, fuck it, I'm killing everybody. And he snapped, right? He didn't like people making fun of the name, didn't like everyone shitting on Egbert, or Edbert. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Sorry. In the year 802. And then he went, fucking, now I'm the king. And everyone's like, all right, you're the king. Everyone call him the king. He's the king. and then they call him the king, and then that was it. And then it was that was it. That's where the royal family were born. That's how they were born. Give me your gold. Give me your houses. Taxes. I got a bunch of money. I like my house. I want to build a bit bigger, right? Let me sleep with all your women. Prima noctas coming in. Watch Braveheart. I want some of this. No, make the house bigger, right? Like much bigger. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, I want it. Now I want an army. I want archers. Will you fucking build this thing? What is it? Castle? That's fine. I live in a castle. Call it a palace. Castle is too trash. Call it I want to live in a palace. Put a moat around it to keep the fucking poor people away from it. I won't have to look at them. I'm going to be the king now. I'm going to be the king. And that's it. And that's where royalty started. And now all of a sudden we're like, oh, the royal family. Oh, the royal family. We love you, the royal family. She's a little old lady. That's all the queen is. Just a little old lady in a weird hat that the people of Britain bought for her. That's it. She's on the currency. Right? That's got to be weird that you're on your own money. You're on your own money. Can you imagine that? Being on your own money? Like, at least now, in America, at least, the euros got weirdo. The euros have, like, the fronts are all the same, but the backs of the coins, at least, they're kind of where that country is from. Like Ireland as a harp. But the front is the same, right? And then if you get a coin from Spain, the front is the same, but the back, it's whatever. You can use the euro, trade euro. And we have, I don't know who's on the euro's weird. It's all stars and countries and shit like that. The Americans you have Jackson, Jefferson, Lincoln. You've got all Hamilton. All former presidents. Hamilton wasn't a president. Right, so you got all these people on the currency, right, from way back when. The Queen is on the currency now. How does she play poker? Do you know what I mean? She's looking at her hand. She goes, "I'll raise 2 me's." Just fucking 2 me's. That would be great. And 1 mother. Yes, 2 me's and 1 mother. The royal family, weird that they would, some of the points from the interview that came out was oddly racist. That the royal family was oddly racist, and people were shocked. A family who have a history of inbreeding, to keep the bloodline pure, right, and not mudded up with fucking common folk. Surprisingly racist. They were worried that because Meghan's, I think it's in her mother or grandmother is black. I'm not sure. That's not me being ignorant. That's me being lazy and not looking at the facts. She was fucking. The royal family were like, we don't want any of those in our bloodline. Let's keep those out. Right, let's keep those out. And you think it's a far stretch from, if you look at like Harry Potter, if you ever watched that in those movies. I mean, some of you are like, I read the books. Go fuck yourself. So if you ever watch a Harry Potter movie, and you can kind of see that, right, somewhat take off the royal family, and then Hermione, right, she's half human, half wizard or witch or whatever you call them, and then she's like, oh, she's a mudblood, and they really kind of fucking make fun of her for being a different mixture of blood. So you can kind of see the royal family carrying on with that shit too, right? Like, they're not oddly racist. Of course they're going to be racist. They're not as in, are they racist in relation to, like, we don't want black people in our country. They're not saying that. They're just saying they don't want them in their family. That's all they're saying. Right? It's like when Joel Osteen, that time when Texas got hit with all those floods, he's like, I love all people. I think all people should be helped. I just don't want them walking into my church with their muddy feet. You can understand when you're at that level. It's like, that's up to them. That's their prerogative. It's their house, their bloodline, their club. They decide who gets in the club. And apparently they don't want black people. That's what I gathered from the interview. Right? And then of course Prince William I saw today was walking by, and a reporter shouted at him, and he's like, have you talked to your brother, William? Have you talked to your brother? And he of course walked by all masked up, right? And he goes, no, but I will talk to my brother. I'll talk to my brother. And then and then the reporter asks a question, isn't the question you ask them when you sit down with them? Because if you watch Harry talk about it, right, you know, they ask a question and he doesn't answer. He's kind of like Elon Musk because he has to think about his answer first, right? They would ask him a question like something like, I don't know, off the cuff. They would say something like, you know, Harry, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Instead of Harry going, Cheerios, beans on toast, eggs. They were like, Harry, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Toast. Right? So he thinks about it, and then like Elon Musk does that too. You ask Elon Musk a question, he doesn't answer right away. And that's what you should be. People would, it would be better if everyone was like that. I mean, conversations, you'd be fucking dragged out for hours, but instead of just opening your mouth, giving all that, just think about it. Think about your answer and then give it. That's not that hard. That's not that hard. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so then he's walking by and the question he asks, instead of sitting down and having a one-on-one with him, as he's walking by, he's like, is your family racist? Is your family racist? Like he's going to turn around and go, it's a bit of a grey area, but I'll talk to you about it later. Or is he going to walk by? No, we love black people, just don't want them in the family. Like it's, of course you go like, I'm not racist. And they're probably not racist. They're just like I said, they don't want them in their fucking, you know, we got nothing against them. We just don't want them in our gang. That's it. That's it. Right? Like, I can't join the Latin Kings. I tried to join the Latin Kings, won't let me in. Right? You get certain things. The Bloods and the Crips, you gotta pick a side. You gotta pick a side. I don't know if there's been any cross those guys walked over. Royal Family, they're just like, we don't want certain people in our club. And that's it. That's it. Because it is a gang. It is a gang. Except they put themselves on their own money. That's it. You know, I think Harry has a hard enough time being a ginger. You know, it's like, I mean, I don't. He's got a good beard though for a ginger. Like my beard kind of comes in a bit reddish when it gets a bit longer than what it is now. But Harry's got like a good fucking. I was watching it going like, that's a nice beard. You know, that's a nice beard, and he's done well for himself. Meghan's a bit tasty, and she's a good looking lass. She's a bit tasty, is Meghan. Oprah doesn't age. Oprah looked great again. As usual, but you know, but deep down, do we really give a fuck? You know what I mean? Do we give a fuck? One of the things they brought up, they're like, why did you get out of the royal family? And they basically said, I don't want happened to her what happened to my mother. Like, what happened where you got like murdered? You know what I mean? Like Queen, what was her face? Princess Diana. Princess Diana got, you know, we all know that story in Paris, going through the tunnel, smashed into a fucking pillar, being chased by the paparazzi. Some people say it was a hit because she was banging, you know, she had left Charles. Oh yes, my wife left me. This is a terrible situation, and now she's off with some Muslim man. Yeah, that was the rumor that she didn't like Dayad Dodo. I don't know his name. I don't know his full name. And she was off with Dodo, and then all of a sudden, you know, a few weeks later, she gets murdered, or murked, as the kids are saying nowadays. And she got murdered, and then Harry basically went, I don't want fucking this will happen to this one. Let's be honest, she is the hottest thing to ever merge into the royal family, isn't she though? Come on, be honest. I know some of you are like Diana fans, right? I know if you had like collector's cards, like, oh, I got an original Diana. Diana was hot for the 80s, right? But if you put them side by side, Meghan's a lot tastier than the other one, than Diana. So I know some of you are like, Diana, she's my princess. She's the real queen, or whatever the fuck you say. But yeah, that's what, you know, let's be honest, Meghan is a lot better looking, and Harry's obviously like, you know, I like this one. I could, you know, I just want her, you know, Harry's kind of cooler though. He's had, like, didn't he go at a party dressed as Hitler? Or a Nazi. This is way before cancel culture. This is way before cancel culture kicked in. Like, Harry's like got a sense of humor, I guess. Harry's like the fun one, not Willie. Willie's the fucking bald one. He went bald at like when he was 15 or something. He went bald, and then you know, Harry's the cool one. He's ginger. He has a lot to deal with. He is kind of disabled, right? I'm not saying, listen, don't think if you live here in America and you're like, oh, I got red hair, how dare you say about red hair? Go to Ireland or go to England and see how they feel about gingers. You don't know unless you go. Fuck off. Yeah, the royal family, do we need them? Do we need them? What's their fucking point? What is the point of the royal? They don't have jobs, right? They don't pay taxes as far as I know. Isn't all the Irish just chess pieces? Names on that's where we got names for chess pieces. That's it. If it wasn't for the royal family, it'd be like my Jeff takes your Karen. That's it. That's it. Oh, he's moving a Steve now. He's moving a Steve and a John. That's it. The horsey instead of the knight. If it wasn't for the royal family, we wouldn't have chessboards. That's it. That's all they've given us. That's all the royal family has given us is chessboards. So I hope you liked the interview with Meghan and Harry, and who are now out of the royal family, and they're cut off too. They're not getting any money. They're done. The Queen said, "Fucking zip, cut it off. They get no more me's. No more pictures of me's. That is it. Can't get it. No more stamps, because she's on the stamps over there." So when I wonder if you're licking a stamp with the Queen. Like if you were Harry, you're sending a letter. I know stamps are stickers now, but when you were growing up, they weren't. He's like, "Mummy, I'm going to send a letter. I don't know why it's Frank Sidebottom. I'm going to send a letter, Mummy." And then just, I like licking grandma. Just fucking stick it on a letter and send it off. Anyway, we'll call it there when we're talking about licking old ladies. Listen, thank you so much for making 100 episodes possible. I wouldn't keep the show going if it wasn't for you. Thanks for liking, subscribe, and share, and put some comments in the comment box. Go over to YouTube. I'm there now. You can watch the show. And the good thing about YouTube is it comes up earlier. I turn it on. It comes up about 5 days before it actually gets released on anything else. So if anything, just to get a head start on what's going on in the week. So yeah, send over. Thanks for liking, lads, and share it and pass it on. And you lads have made 100 episodes possible, because I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if I just had nobody listening. I really wouldn't. Be a waste of time. But you lads have kept it going, so I appreciate that. And I'm in Uncle Vinny's. I'm in New Jersey next week at Point Pleasant, Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club. I'm headlining from the Tuesday all the way through to the Saturday. So that is the 16th all the way through to the 20th. So tickets are available for all, I think Wednesday, I don't know, I think there's 2 that could be sold. I'm not sure which ones. But go online, get tickets, come down and see me. On Wednesday night, I'm there with the very, very funny Joey Diaz, the hilarious Joey Diaz. So thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. Until next time. As the coronavirus is kind of moving away now, it's kind of, the vaccines are coming along, it's moving away. I'm still going to tell you to wash your hands, you dirty fuckers. And when COVID is gone, maybe I'll come up with other advice. But thanks so much, lads. I will talk to you soon. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Thank you.